Welcome back to the Let's Be Honest podcast. This is episode 10 with myself, Peter, Paul, and Stuart. I'm sorry, by the way, in advance to anyone who's watching the YouTube version of this because many questions, I'm sure, will have been on your mind if you're just looking at us right now. How are we all, first of all?
Well, we're not great.
We're not great.
No.
Anyone, let's just describe anyone who's listening to this at the moment. You look like Mr. Bump.
Yeah, I've had I had a serious fight with a fly, so and it got the better of me as well. But I've just as we're explaining to each other there off air, you don't know what a plague is. It's a horse fly. You should actually Google it or look it up. But they're nasty little bastards.
I did not know that a fly could do that type of damage.
Well, they're big. Well, they're called a horse fly. So. Yeah, these little bastards can bite you and infect you, and they can cause a lot of damage, as you can see.
Because even when you look at it, it doesn't look that. When you see it, it doesn't look.
Yeah, well, step on your head. Let's see what you think of it.
But yeah. So this is yesterday. You've got bitten by one. Then yesterday.
Afterwards, it's Thursday. That's Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Thursday. So it has come up into this lump in the garden. It's come up into this lump, and I've been to the hospital twice, and I've had antibiotics and antiviral, and I've had blood taken, and I've had my eyes checked, and these things are pretty nasty.
Paul has a bandage, sort of a big plaster on his head, and then his eye looks quite.
Well, it was worse.
Swollen.
Yeah. It was worse the way I was dispatched. Yeah, I stand up the road like somebody from World War II.
Peter, when you take this hat off and show us your shaved head, it's going to be fairly anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So you've got a did.
Yeah, I'll just reveal now then, shall I?
Oh my god!
Oh, that's more.
What do you mean? Oh my god! No. This is Gru. This is Gru, and then this was what last Thursday. It's Gru.
Peter,
since then,
why not just?
So you went bald?
I like it. See, waking up and you just feel so fresh. I feel revitalized.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
It's because of the color of my hair as well. It is a bit fair anyway. So from a distance, I look bald. But I want to go lower.
Lean into the camera there.
I want to go.
Oh, there is a wee bit of hair there right now.
On the sides, but I do want to go. This was a number 1. I want to go down to 0 now. I'm liking it.
Well, why not go to 0 the first time around?
Because he wouldn't do it. He said, "If you do this, you'll regret it," and he wouldn't do it. So he has to lower me down. I quite like a bit of facial hair, kind of breaks it up, and there's still hair on my head. So
okay, fair enough.
I think I look younger. No,
if you
criminal.
It does. It's fairly drastic. It does. It changes you. It changes your look completely. It makes you look less approachable. If that's what you were going for,
maybe that's a good
more
thing.
More sort of thuggish. More like a wee dude from the hood.
Right. But it's not
like
for
one of these lads. If you came out of the cinema and saw you sort of marching up the street, you'd avoid you. You're like one of them wee dudes from the hood.
Well, let me tell you, that's perfect for me. Peace and quiet.
Peace.
No, I want peace.
It's funny looking at you side by side. It's like you're the victim and you've attacked him.
Oh yeah, there's a fair point, Bamford. Yeah, this is the hood that attacked me during the week.
It's a good cover story, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, good sake. You would have learned during the week there. You need to keep a very tight eye on your bank account.
Okay.
Right? And especially if you sign up for direct debits, okay? Do you know what, if you sign up for a direct debit, you give the other side the authority to take money, okay?
Right. Yeah.
Sounds fairly practical. But let's assume, like in my case there, the end of the run and the end of the subscription, that you decide I'm not going to renew it and you cancel the direct debit. Okay? Do you know that the company can reinstate that direct debit without you knowing about it?
Is that not why you have to cancel and cancel with your bank as well, like with your online banking?
But I assumed I went onto the app and cancelled the direct debit right away back in March, and the payment wasn't due until June. The new subscription wouldn't be due until June. So I'm checking the bank yesterday, and 50 quid had gone out yesterday. Again, for something that I thought I had cancelled. So now the bank has put the onus back on me to say I need to go now to the company and try and claim back the 50 quid, because they reinstated the direct debit themselves without my permission and took the money. Now, that gives you no control of anything. So if you're sitting in your bank account and you think you're all safe and everything's done, people are nabbing into it and taking stuff out that you don't even know.
Yeah, but don't they always, what you've done should normally work, but don't they always say, as a precaution, notify who you've set the direct debit up with again as well?
Right. So what about then the direct debit guarantee? As I quoted to them yesterday, I said that you have a direct debit guarantee that you pay back if you pay out an error and all this sort of nonsense.
But it's very smart. Even like free trials, and you sign up to a free trial, and maybe it's for like 3 months, and by the 3 months, you forgot about it, and it's still probably coming out of your bank. It's very smart the way they do that, because they're just hoping you don't notice, and it's coming out every month.
See but that's why you need to, if you're going to sign up for those 3 months thing, you need to use like a disposable card, right? Mm-hmm. So you give them the details, and they take the penny or check the account, and then after that card's disposed of, and they can't actually add on in the 3 months if you forget about it.
Yeah. But
these buggers now are on to that, and they won't even accept those bloody cards either.
Right. But you talking about this has reminded me, I took out last year a year's subscription, which was £100 odd for, Canva. So I've paused until August, and you saying that has reminded me. Otherwise, I would have completely forgot about it, and come August, cha-ching.
Cash out?
No, they would have automatically renewed it.
Mm.
You see, that's the same scam that's run on car insurance and stuff, automatic renewal, and they just renew it. Okay, they send you out the details beforehand, and then you think, I must look at that, and you forget, and then they send you the bill because they've just renewed it.
Here's one for you. This month, Mike, I had to redo my car insurance. I got an email saying, we will not renew your car insurance this year.
Until you get your haircut?
No. maybe they've seen the profile picture. No, but they have, honestly.
If you were to go through an airport, I think you'd struggle if someone was judging you based on your passport photo.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here, that's very true. I don't have glasses on my driving license either. Is that a problem?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would look.
The law states that if you use those glasses to drive, you must wear them at all times.
Well, then I would struggle then, because I would look totally different in my driving license. In fact, I have it here with me. I think
looks like a bit of a hood, doesn't he?
I think. It's not the bad one.
Is that a wee credit card in there?
It's not the bad one. The one before this, I actually just got it renewed. The one before this, I dyed my hair brown on the previous photo. So that's me now there on that one.
Good grief.
No, to look at you, I would either think that you were, some sort of software developer who was worth a fortune, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you just robbed a B&M Bargains.
But is that not a good thing? Because then people will just stay out of your way.
If that's what you want.
I think that's a good idea. We should actually show our driving licenses.
Go ahead. You've got yours.
Here's mine. Yeah. You think it looks like mine?
There's a Vegas emblem.
Is that how they sent you home? By the way, for anyone who's not watching this, you literally do look like Mr. Bump, because you got it.
That's how I was home.
That's funny.
That's seriously how I was sent home, and I drove up the road looking like that. And not a bit of wonder people were looking at me and going, what is wrong with that nut?
No, but you know what? You genuinely in that photo look like you've been attacked by a group of thugs, not a fly.
So that's 4 hours sitting in A&E, and that's the way I was sent home.
Wow.
Imagine the insurance scams where people are just stopping their car in front of you now, so you go into the back of them. Imagine you'd got out of the car. They would drive on. Oh God.
Yeah, that's my new passport photograph, and my new license renewal photograph. Do you think it looks like me? It'll do all right.
Here's something I want to bring up. How are you two with the dentist?
I haven't been in 40 years.
I was there last
I haven't been to the dentist in 40 years.
What do you mean?
Wow.
I mean, I haven't been.
Do you have to go every year?
No. You meant to?
You've never been...
You meant to go like every, was it 3 or 4 months?
No.
As a child, I was told you had to go every single year. Not even, 6 months.
Look, I remember going back in the day, and my mum taking me to the dentist, and it was a guy called Gallagher in Lisburn. It was obviously how stupid is this? But it was obviously to get a tooth out. But I remember her picking me up from school and taking me around to this boy Gallagher, and it was gas then, and he put the mask over me, right? Mm-hmm. And I freaked with this mask, this gas mask thing. I freaked over it. But I remember waking up, and obviously the tooth had been extracted and coming out all dizzy and whatever else and being helped down the stairs. Well, about 6 or 8, maybe months or a year later, I had to go back. And this fella then had retired. It was somebody else. So it was the needle, the injection. Mm-hmm. For goodness sake, this mum was like a butcher. So I haven't been back since.
Into your mouth? The needle
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been back since.
That's amazing. I thought everyone just went every year and that was...
No, I haven't been to the dentist in 40 years.
And how do you feel?
Well, not too good. But
yeah. But you know,
how do you feel? Like, how do you meant to feel?
When you go to the dentist, you get you clean up, and then your teeth feel clean again. No matter how much you clean them,
every day, twice.
You can't clean them as much as a dentist would.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, of course not. But it's what worries me is that as is in the job that I do, as you know, you need to be sort of quite clear with your vocals, etc., etc. And what worries me is going out someday and forgetting them, and leaving them behind me, and then getting down to work and just sort of being gummed.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, I don't like. So I
take them out.
Oh, well,
what?
Do you want me to take them out?
No, they're not East Lion.
No, I thought you were. No.
Oh. Even when I was going, I still wasn't 100% convinced.
I wasn't 100%.
The amount of times you've seen me hoover up a lunch, there's no false teeth in there, mate.
No, but I think the point you're making, Peter, is so it's dear. Like I pay something like 20 quid a month, right?
You're mad in the head.
And so when I say once every 3 months, so every 3 months you see alternating either the dentist or the hygienist, right? Now I prefer the dentist. I find the hygienist just rips you apart and scrutinizes the way you brush,
drinking tea and drinking
scrutinizes your flossing or lack thereof. And then I hate? When you're lying back in the chair and then you've got one scraping away and then the assistant has this wee, like, it's like a thing that also, it's a suction thing but can also shoot water. And then when you zone in and out, and when you realize what's happening, I feel really like claustrophobic and like I can't breathe. And but what I'm trying to say is, despite all that as somebody who brushes their teeth all the time and who's never not gone to the dentist or the hygienist, still you get scrutinized and still there's a shit ton of plaque and tartar and bullshit. So I imagine if you don't go, you know what I mean?
And everyone has a different... My normal dentist was away on holiday, so there's this uni student in that was filling in, and he had told me I need 3 fillings. So lucky enough she was back the next month and she recalled and just make sure everything was okay. And she said my mouth was fine. Like, how can one dentist say one thing and you're getting operated on?
This is the thing. Like, if I go to the hygienist, she's like, oh, she scrutinizes the flossing. She's like, oh, you got to watch there. There's early signs of like tooth decay, and is it your gums are receding and all this sort of bollocks. And then 3 months later, I'll go to see the dentist and he'll go, how's life? How's the job? All right, looking good.
Did you tell me a story once of the dentist dropping something down your throat?
Oh, I did. What was that? What was that? Oh, do you know what it was? It was... you know what it was? You know the way at the end he gives you a wee clean and polish?
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah. Well, the thing that he uses to clean and polish It's like a wee big wheel spinning thing with a brush.
Yeah.
And he's working away on my teeth, and next thing, the top came off it. The spinning top came off it and went down my throat. And I immediately sat up with the bloody yellow goggles on, going, and he's like hitting my back, going, get it up, get it up.
You're paying for that experience, Bamford?
Like 20 quid a month, yeah.
Jesus.
If you weren't already afraid of the dentist, that would put you off, to be fair.
You know what is crazy too? It seems like once, at least maybe twice a year, you will get a letter or now an email letting you know it's going up. Every single year it goes up and up and up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, mine's only about like 9-10 quid a month, I think.
No, I remember I was paying 15, and now it is up to about 19-20.
But tell me this here then, right? So you go for filling, and why did they turn around then and say to you, we can only do a temporary one today, now you have to come back next week? So that's just for more money. And then you go back the next week, we'll just pack that again, so you come back the following week. So to get a filling takes about 6 weeks. Why can't they just do it at one sitting?
You know what? When I was in high school, I was sitting in class one day listening to the teacher, and a guy was sitting beside me, and he was a real fucking dickhead. And he went, Stuart, and he deliberately to get me. And as soon as I turned round, he had a pen to my cheek, and it knocked out one of my teeth. Right in the middle in high school, right? And I went into panic mode and whatnot. Rushed to the dentist, and thank God. It's kind of weird to be in high school, but it was still a baby tooth. Thank God. You know?
Were you bullied at school, Bamford?
Oh, I was bullied all throughout primary and the beginning of high school, yeah.
I can see
that's why I am the way I am.
I can see why.
I used to be a very quiet, conscientious, hard worker. And then I realized that here's what I would say, and you're going to have something smart to come back at me at this. If you can make them laugh, they won't hit you.
No.
Well, that's what I learned. That's the advice I would give to young specky kids.
Right.
It's the glasses, to be fair, yeah.
But then, I've said probably on this podcast before, glasses have changed. Now people want glasses who don't need glasses. I was ahead of my time.
But it's the height of him. He's just a wee runt.
See, I would put it down to my glasses, but do you think it's more of a personality?
I do. You've got that sort of very in-your-face personality sometimes where you just want to turn around and slap.
A wee bit like
too cocky, Bamford.
Things come out. But here's the thing: deep down, I'm not.
Cocky.
Deep down, I'm not. Do you know that painting of the crying clown? That's me.
No, you're too cocky. You're too cocky, and you're living in this wee dream of.
I am not cocky, Peter. Would you say I'm cocky?
Yes, you're too cocky. You're living in this wee dream of. Oh, I'm doing a great job. Nobody cares.
All right, way to make me feel good. Go ahead. We'll go,
I think there's cocky and there's confident.
What's the difference?
I know it's hard to say.
Well, confident would be myself and Peter. You're cocky.
I wouldn't say I'm confident.
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
You've got to be confident to be cocky. Cocky's an extreme version of confidence.
You're just cocky.
This sounds so prepared.
He's been on his mind.
He's been thinking all morning. He needs to get this off his chest. But backtracking about schools, right? I was driving past the school the other day, and everyone was in the exam hall doing exams.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's June.
Yeah, I know it's June. I know, but I wanted to ask you about your exam experience. What did you do in school? What did you do? O levels?
Yeah, it would have been O levels. Yeah, O and A's.
And do you remember how you did? No,
I didn't do any.
You didn't do any?
No.
Why?
Because I left at 16 and just couldn't stick it. Hated it. Hated school. I was at an all boys school, which was a bit of a disaster for a start, but I hated school. And it was just one of these schools where back in those days, certain individuals would have been quite enthusiastic with their sticks and their hands and their fists, and that's the way they thought that they would keep control of those certain classes, etc., etc. So yeah, I hated school, and as soon as I got out of it, I just went off to do my own thing, and
Did you not have to have
all
some?
been quite good to me.
Did you not have to have some level of qualification though to do the fire service?
Not then, no. It was all in-house training then, but back in those days, they couldn't get people, you see, so anybody would do. But yeah, it was the usual interview, medical, that sort of business. Very easy maths and very easy arithmetic and English exam, very basic. But back in those days, it was just now's a different carry on. But all my qualifications then came from Fire Service College, and all the different degrees then that I obtained through that.
But it's still
engineering and fire and safety and fire rescue degrees and evacuation status and all this sort of stuff. So basically, I've got 4 degrees, but I got nothing out of school. Absolutely nothing.
But it's still mad in this year hearing you talk about being smacked in school.
Oh yeah, no, not smacked, pistol thumped, punched, beaten with a steel rod. You know the usual thing that there used to be. Do you remember the old duster they used to wipe the boards with? The duster thing that would used to hit you in the back of the head with that. Or oh yeah, those days were a tad dodgy. But I do remember. I wasn't long in the fire brigade at the time, and we were at a grass fire off the Hillsborough Road in Lisburn. It's funny how you remember these things. And the old sub officer at the time, who's dead and gone, an old smoke eater. And the way they used to deal with you in those days, they just threw you into it. Get in there and get a bit of smoke into you and all this sort of business. And it was so hot, right? Mm. It was a really warm day, and I had taken my helmet off. Okay, and I'm beating away at this grass fire, and the next thing I felt this almighty pain on the back of my head, this almighty thump, and he hit me in the back of the head with his pipe.
While you're putting the fire out?
Uh-huh. And he said, "Never you take your helmet off," he says, "at a fire." And I can tell you, see, from that day, I never took my helmet off at a fire. So that was the way they used to.
It sounds so bizarre still.
That's the way they used to deal with things in those days, and it was get in there.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I remember in history class in school, there was one boy in particular who was always a troublemaker, and we were given an exam, and he just wrote bad words all over the exam and drew pictures of like dicks and stuff. And I remember the teacher trying to make an example of him. It was a woman, and the more she tried to highlight what he'd done on his test paper, the more the class were in hysterics. Mm. And then he was like, "Why are you going to do about it, miss?" Like he was really playing up to it, right? And you could see her seething, and the voice going up, and everybody's laughing, including me. And then she lost her shit, and she threw a history book at him, right? But I was the fucker sitting in front of him, so she smacked me square in the face, and the glasses were like that. No, I was sitting in front of him, and I got the book.
So that's because you're too cocky.
Also, and I'll tell you another one. In geography class, a different troublemaker who I quite recently ran into at a petrol station, and he tried to be, "Hey, how's it going?" But he's forgotten I haven't, right?
I'm amazed people recognise you from school.
Right, and we were sitting in geography class. By the way, the teacher of the class was the principal. Put it into perspective. And while we were in class, next thing I heard laughter. This fucker had drawn a chalk penis on my blazer, on the back of it. And then, and then I put my hand up.
Too cocky.
To tell the teacher, who was also the principal. And when I took off the blazer and showed him, he pissed himself.
Well, here, did you ever go back? Did you ever go back to your old school and like years later and say?
That's just
the Americans are really big into this. You know the way they have college yearbooks and all this malarkey, and if their pictures taken and they're all in the yearbooks, and then they go back afterwards. And like I've never crossed its door. That school I went to from the day I left, apart from a couple of times when their fire alarm went off, but I have never passed the door since.
I was before the C word. I was invigilator for the exams.
Before the C word, C word.
Before COVID, I was apparently now if you say that word, YouTube and stuff can catch on to it. Oh. Anyway, that's another story altogether. I'll tell you that in a minute. But I went back for invigilating. You know, there's people they call themselves examiners, but I mean they employed me. But you walk up and down the exam hall to check for cheating and for just being, when you're in the exams and just an outsider from the school came in, it just made it a bit more official. But I was just counting the bricks in the wall, really.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's the worst job I've ever done.
I last week, it's something that I've had, and this is what annoys me about things. Something I had years ago, and I let it lapse. Okay, was my taxi PSV license. Okay, now on my license, I've got everything. I've got lorries and everything, right? And I went 6 months ago. I think Banford knows this. To renew it, or maybe a year ago to renew it, and they wouldn't renew it because it had expired for more than 2 years. Right, fair point. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I went in to renew it, and you have to go through the whole thing again. You have to do the whole thing. So went and did the theory test. The first time around, failed it. Okay. So came away thinking, right, this is annoying me. So sat down, studied, and did a bit more work. Went back 2 Wednesdays ago now, maybe it is, and passed it. But you talk about you're walking up and down watching for cheating. You want to go into that theory test centre and see what goes on in there.
Oh, really?
First of all, you're greeted at the door. It's like going into some sort of institution. You're greeted at the door, right? Take off your jewelry, take off your watch, turn your phone off, turn your watch off. Here's a key to a locker. Put that all in the locker. Empty out all your pockets. Take your glasses off. Do everything. Then you go through into another one where they basically search you. Pull your sleeves up. Pull your trousers up. Roll down your socks. Check your shoes. Check in behind your collar. Check everything else before you actually get in to do the test. So anybody, any kid, any 17-year-old going in that has gone through all that before they actually even get in to sit down in front of the computer, their blood pressure must be through the roof.
I know. Even when I was doing it, you had to take off if you were bringing a water bottle, you had to take off the label of the water bottle in case you'd put the answers in the inside. The water bottle.
How do you know the answers when you don't know the questions?
I know.
Like, for goodness sake. Your mom said to me, I missed, this is true, I missed 15p in my pocket. So when I went to pull my thing out, it came this 10p and a 5p. Oh, you need to go and leave that in your locker. Right? So I out the door, back into the locker, puts the 15p back in the locker, came back in from the locker. He went through the whole thing again, searching.
Jesus.
And I wear this gold bracelet here. You can see it there. See, it's only a gold bracelet. Oh, there's my hospital thing. You see the gold bracelet?
You just been born?
Yeah, see the gold bracelet, right?
Yeah.
Now, what on earth would that benefit me at a theory test? A gold bloody bracelet. I had to take that off.
It's in case it has those special powers of memory or something like that. I don't know.
Like, I can understand maybe switching off your smartwatch or your phone. I can understand that, but take off your bloody bracelet. And there was a girl behind me. He was trying to get her to take off her wedding ring.
Jesus, I vaguely remember that having to do the hazard perception when you had to go in and do that.
That's that hazard perception thing.
Yeah.
14 questions on that. That's a nightmare. That thing.
I ended up just clicking. It's just. I think it's one of the hardest tests you can do.
Oh, I would love to. I signed up to a website before doing that. $7.50 it cost me, where you get the chance to do a load of those hazard perception things. I'd love to sit you two down and do that and see how many points you would get.
Mm-hmm. The best thing that ever happened in my driving test was I thought I'd failed about 5 minutes in because I thought I'd hit the curb doing the 3-point turn. But he obviously, in fact, you know something else that happened? The very end of the driving test, there was a woman who walked out in the road, not at a crossing or not at lights or anything, just walked out in the middle of the road, and he near failed me for that because I didn't stop to let her cross. But then my driving instructor argued, well, she shouldn't have been there anyway, so she should, that's not a crossing point. So I nearly failed my exam over someone just walking out.
Was he in the car as well?
No, afterwards, when he was signing the sheet, he'd come over and said, because some of the examiners, like they are job worths.
Oh, well, look, this is in every gig. It's in every gig. It was in the fire brigade, and it's everywhere. All these, even in every business, there's always a job's worth. There's constant jobs worth.
I think you'd be a good driving instructor.
Well, look, I did. I trained firemen up to blue light. So I trained guys up to blue light on fire engines, and I trained, as you guys both know, I trained guys up to blue light standard on motorcycles. So yeah, it's a bit of a forte, really, isn't it? Like you either have it or you don't. And I'm sorry to say, boys, but I've got it. You see, I'm not cocky like that other boy.
Yes,
I'm not cocky. I'm confident, Peter. Confident.
Yeah.
Like confidence, as they used to say, my old dad used to say, that confidence, he says, is oozing out of you.
He's just
He's
had
not
enough.
cocky, he's had to bugger up. See that? There he's back. Must have been another light went on fire or something.
That in the shot.
Oh, here we go.
The award has made an appearance on the screen once again. Yeah.
What was that for? What was that award for?
Breaststroke.
What? At the end of the day, that means nothing to nobody.
You could say that about every award. So really, all those football teams trying to win the Premier League and the Champions League, they should just give up.
100%. All awardless. Doesn't matter. It's what you are and what you can provide.
No, but if I told you, you know, what was the best chippy in Northern Ireland, you'd be inclined to go. You know.
But then here's a question: How do you tell? How do you come to that conclusion?
That it's an award winner.
Yeah, you surely can't ask every
somebody
single
around in the Edify supper.
So there's a invigilator or whatever goes around and tests it. But surely that's just personal opinion.
That's what everything is.
But he's not the only one. There's maybe 2 or 3 others go as well.
Yeah.
But see, to be honest, if you go to one chippy and you go to another one up the road, there's not much of a difference. Let's
be honest. Like, if you had, let's say, a chippy or a cafe or any kind of business, if you bought an award or stuck something in the window or over the counter, people are going to, they're going to believe it.
There's a guy on TikTok and he has a potato van and he parks out the spud guy or the spud man or something you call him, and people are queued round the town for a jack of potato and beans.
And this is the thing; it's all social media driven. Because no, but it's true. But then you see, and it's like 20 quid, and then you see people queuing up for like an hour, and then they go, just taste like a jack of potato.
Yep,
and beans.
And he does like he puts cheese and curry together, and people are saying, "Oh, it's amazing!" You know, it's some kind of revolution, but it's not really. It's just a potato. Yeah. The end on this podcast. How long are you wearing that for? How long does it? But anyone who hasn't seen, by the way, we haven't even described the black eye. Like, I didn't think it would go right into your eye.
Well, that's how I was discharged. I showed you the photo how I was discharged.
And wait, do you have to go back, or what's happening?
Monday. They're worried about they're worried about this thing if it has whatever could create an ulcer in your eye. Jesus. Allegedly.
But that makes me very worried to go outside now. Like, that just happened in your garden. That just happened in your garden.
At the back.
And did you feel it?
Yeah. Well, you see, you don't feel it because these are things they inject you with a. Read it up. You see, they inject you with an anaesthetic, so you don't feel it initially.
But the fly does.
No, the fly doesn't feel it.
No, he said that the fly injects you with an anaesthetic.
Oh no, the fly and puts in like an anaesthetic in so that it doesn't, and it must do the same to the horse, so the horse doesn't know it's there. So it puts in this anaesthetic so it can sit there and suck your blood and do whatever.
Wow.
So whatever it has just...
Imagine if you'd been asleep.
Oh, God.
Like, what can I say?
Unbelievable. That's the first.
Look,
that's the first.
Nobody cares. I've said it to you before. Nobody cares.
Oh.
Did one of you two even check with me this morning to see where I was? You didn't care. The only message I got was what time for the podcast, and I had to say this afternoon because I was in the hospital.
But no, you should have done what everyone else does and checked yourself in, and then everyone would be commenting, going, "Oh, what are you there for? What's happening? Are you all right? Yeah. DM me."
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing I would say. And to play devil's advocate, I think feel free to challenge me on this, but I feel like if myself or a pistol had shown up bitten by was it a horsefly? Is that what you call it?
Well, they're called they're clegs, but they're horseflies.
Okay, I feel like we would have got like, you daft stupid bastard. Yeah. Serves you right. That's what we would have got.
I didn't get any of that again either. That all just stopped.
Good. All right, that's a sign. Anyway, Good luck for the appointment. That's what we'll say for this episode.
For Monday.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Catch you in the radio on Friday.
Oh, we plug.
Unfiltered will be on tomorrow.
Country Line Radio.
See you later.
Cheerio. Bye.